Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Shata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stotra Shata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gokopinath Shyamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol.
Welcome everybody to Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. I need help with today's verse since I wasn't there. I don't see it in the chat. You're muted, Guru Maharaj.
423.
Okay, 423. For
at least, yes, that's right.
For which chapter?
4 23.
Oh, like that. Okay. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, 423. Sudya Sadavo Loke Naradeva Narottama Nabi Druyanti Utebhyo Arhi Natma Kalevaram. Translation. O King, one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is considered best amongst human beings. An advanced human being is never malicious to others. Those with advanced intelligence are always conscious that this material body is different from the soul. Purport. In daily life, we find that when a madman commits murder, he is excused even by a high court judge. The idea is that a living entity is always pure because he is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he falls into the clutches of material energy, he becomes a victim of the three modes of material nature. Indeed, whatever he does under the influence of material nature. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 5:14, Na kartruvatam na karmani lokasya shrajati prabhu na karma phala samyogam sabhavastu pravartate. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Guru Maharaj, would you like to comment at this point? Should I continue?
Let's see.
We're in the end of the first paragraph.
Yeah, but you can finish the paragraph.
Okay, I'll finish the second paragraph. Actually, the living entity or soul does not do anything. Everything is done under the influence of the modes of material nature. When a man is diseased, the symptoms of the disease become a source of all kinds of pain. Those who are advanced in transcendental consciousness or Krishna consciousness are never envious, neither of the soul nor of the activities of the soul under the influence of material nature. Advanced transcendentalists are called Sudhya. Sudhi means intelligence, Sudhi means highly advanced, and Sudhi means devotee. One who is both devoted and highly advanced in intelligence does not take action against the soul or the body. If there is any discrepancy, he forgives. It is said that forgiveness is a quality of those who are advancing in spiritual knowledge. Guru Maharaj, would you like to comment there?
Okay. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurn Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadhati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapata Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Shagashatam Shagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savitutam Pralijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shagana Lolita Shri Vishakan Vidamstra He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hori Priye Vansha Golpitarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Pyevacha Tita Nam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayādvaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gaura Bhaktir. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Prithu Maharaj has been asked to forgive King Indra, and here the grounds are a little surprising. Well, whatever he did, it wasn't him. Nakartritvam, nakarmani lokasya srijati prabhu. The living entity within the body is not the doer of the activities he performs. Elsewhere, prakrite kriyamanani gunani karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma krataham iti manyate. Everything is done by the modes of material nature. And the living entity falsely thinks, I'm the doer. So Indra hasn't done these things. It's simply because he's a pure soul. Every soul is finally, ultimately pure. Asangohiyam purusha. He has no connection with the modes of nature. But because of this illusory connection or circumstantial connection, one acts this way or that way under the influence of passion, ignorance, goodness. So don't hold Indra responsible. It's because he's infected by the modes of nature. And the analogy Prabhupada gives is to that of a madman. If a madman comes before the court, the judge sees this man is mad. He can't be held responsible. It's a plea. Your Honor, please forgive this man. He's acted under the influence of insanity. So insanity is also a plea. So essentially every living entity under the influence of material nature is insane. Or another example Prabhupada gives, a patient who's delirious. He may call the doctor ill names. He may try to strike the doctor, but the doctor doesn't become offended, he refused to treat the patient. He understands the patient is delirious and treats him accordingly. So the advanced soul, Sudhi means one whose intelligence is very good. Sadhava, sadhu, he treats people in this way, compassionately, forgivingly, understanding that these poor things are acting under the influence of material nature. What can they do? Prakritam, avasham prakriter vashat. They're helplessly acting under the influence of Maya. It's also interesting, sadhava, one who's inclined to perform welfare activities for others. Prabhupada doesn't give any mundane context for that. The main point here is that those who are advanced transcendentalists see with this vision, Atmopamyena Sarvatra Samam Pashyati Yorjana Sukham Vayariva Dukham Suyogi Paramam, the 6th chapter. The best yogi is the one who sees all living entities to be like himself. Atmavad Sarvabhuteshu Yapashyati Sabandita. So, yes. And Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur comments, how is it possible to be violent toward other living entities, since one should not identify them as bodies? The soul is pure, and the bodies are only acting according to nature's influence. So why should we treat them violently? Hare Krishna.
Panchatattva Prabhu, are you available to read text 4?
Sure.
So I had to check something real quick. Only take me a second. Or there's a misspelling in my Srimad Bhagavatam paper copy here. Purusha yadi muyanti tvadrisha devamayaya shrama eva param jato dirghaya vriddha sevaya. If a personality like you, who are so much advanced because of executing the instructions of the previous acharyas, is carried away by the influence of my material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. Purport. In this verse, the word vriddha sevaya is very significant. Vriddha means old. Sevaya means by service. Perfect knowledge is acquired from the acharyas, or liberated souls. No one can be perfect in knowledge without being trained by the parampara system. Prithu Maharaj was completely trained in that line. Therefore, he did not deserve to be considered an ordinary man. An ordinary man who has only a conception of bodily existence is always bewildered by the modes of material nature. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayādvaita Swami Niti Namine. The Lord Vishnu is continuing his explanation to Prithu Maharaj. And it's interesting. The first thing I thought when I read this verse was, this is kind of indirectly, and again, I admit it may be a bit of a stretch, but it's kind of a dig at Indra, because Indra is also a highly advanced personality. And here, Lord Vishnu is holding Prithu Maharaj to the standard of pure devotion. You're advanced in executing the instructions of the previous acharyas. You're in the parampara system. You've you've been engaged in this way, and are duly charged with the responsibilities of such advancement. And it doesn't look good if you become overwhelmed by anger and you act under the influence of the material energy. It's interesting that the words here are so strong. If you're carried away by the influence of my material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. It's also something that, we can take to heart too. We should take a look at ourselves through this verse and think, Lord Vishnu is speaking to us as well. We have responsibilities to fulfill in the discharge of the instructions of our spiritual master, in the discharge of devotional service, and we should be careful not to get carried away, even momentarily, by the modes of material nature. Vriddha means old, sevya means by service. Vridha Sevaya. By serving the superiors is the translation given in the word for word. Interesting. Vridha means old. Sevaya means by service. So old, I take it means here. This is coming in a line. This is not something new. It may be in a new bottle, but it's the it's the same thing being handed down, and this is the acquisition of knowledge, and without the training in parampara system, you can't be perfect. Srila Prabhupada is saying, and Prabhupada's pointing out that Prithu Maharaj was completely trained in this line. He wasn't a novice. He wasn't just entering into devotional service. He had complete training, and therefore he was above the standard of the ordinary personality, who, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, only has the conception of a bodily existence. Whether that conception is maybe a little elevated, considering his mental, he's on the platform of the jnani or whatever, still, a devotee is supposed to be beyond that material conception, whether gross or subtle. And therefore, Lord Vishnu is appealing to him on the basis of his actually maturity in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, would you like to say something?
Vridha Seva is personal. Normally, in ordinary dealings, Vridha Seva is service to old people, service to elders. But here, Srila Prabhupada glosses it as service to the previous acharyas, superiors in that way. Prabhupada quoted a verse to the effect that one qualifies as old by knowledge. So Prahlad Maharaj, it was Vridha, old by knowledge. Although he was 5 years old, he was in a superior position, like an elder, because of knowledge. And it's personal. Vridha Seva means personally serving Acharya Upasana, the Acharya. Yes, it's not just abstract that one has gratitude toward previous generations, but one serves the spiritual master, the acharyas, and in this way becomes perfect. No one can be perfect in knowledge without being trained by the parampara system. So this is the training to take shelter of a spiritual master, to render service to him, and so on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, the power here is going in and out, so I'm a bit disoriented, and you may see me going in and out of the screen. For our next text here, Radheshwar Prabhu, are you available?
Yes, I can read 5. I have another one with me. Text 5. Ata kayam imam vidvan avidya kama karma bihi arabdha iti naivasmin pratibuddho nusajjate. Those who are in full knowledge of the bodily conception of life, who know that the body is composed of nescience, desires, and activities, resulting from illusion, do not become addicted to the body. As stated in a previous verse, those with good intellect, suddhya, do not accept themselves to be the body. Being a creation of nescience, the body has 2 types of activities. In the bodily conception, when we think that sense gratification will help us, we are in illusion. Another kind of illusion is to think that one will become happy by trying to satisfy the desires that arise from the illusory body, or by attaining elevation to the higher planetary systems, or by performing various types of Vedic rituals. This is all illusion. Similarly, material activities performed for political emancipation and social and humanitarian activities performed with an idea that people of the world will be happy are also illusory, because the basic principle is the bodily conception, which is illusory. Whatever we desire or perform under the bodily conception is all illusion. In other words, Lord Vishnu informed Prithu Maharaj that although the sacrificial performances set an example for ordinary people, there was no need for such sacrificial performances as far as his personal self was concerned. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvastho, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. The ritualistic performances recommended in the Vedas mainly depend on the three modes of material nature. Consequently, Arjuna was advised to transcend the Vedic activities. The activities Arjuna was advised to perform were the transcendental activities of devotional service. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayādvaita Swaminiti Namani. In Christianity also they have this concept, mortification of the flesh, mortify, to deaden your material desires. We're all subjugated by our material desires. When the body demands something, we immediately follow it, and we aspire to uplift ourselves materially. How can I advance? And this was Vyasadev's big issue. I'm not satisfied with what I've done with the Vedas. What is my problem? Narada Muni, please. You can see within all living beings, you know, past, present, and future. Please identify what is the fault that I'm not satisfied. And the word, our resident sannyasi, His Holiness Bhakti Abhay Ashram Maharaj, he often quotes, the word used is jugupsitam, abominable, how horrible, that you've misled people to think that sense gratification is all in the name of religiosity. And so here, Vishnu is saying there's no need to finish your yajna. There's no need to finish this sacrifice. The bodily conception of life is based on a body composed of nescience and desires and activities resulting from illusion. So don't be addicted to the body. Anushajjate, to become addicted. This is... He just focused. Sorry, I have a baby crying. Maybe I'll turn it over to you, Gurumaj. I have difficulties on the home front.
Okay. One point regarding mortification of the flesh. We should be careful if we're going to take on practices, or to take jigs at really practices from some this or that religious tradition. We should know what it means. Mortification of the flesh is not, to my knowledge, something one does for sense gratification, but it's a kind of tapasya, really. It's meant to deaden, therefore mortify, to deaden one's sinful tendencies, one's sinful, deaden one's sinful tendencies, one's sinful nature, put to death one's sinful nature and sinful desires. So it's meant to purify or sanctify the self. It's not just like tapasya. I suppose everything can be misused, but yeah, but the context of mortification of the flesh is generally not that it's something one does for sense gratification, but to subdue sinful desires.
I was thinking of it, Guru Maharaj, in a positive light. In terms of this verse, I was saying it's a good thing to kill one's material desires, to not be on the bodily platform. The bodily platform being the flesh. So to kill one's bodily desires, I was thinking it's a positive thing, a tapasya.
Okay.
I was drawing the parallel in a positive regard. I was thinking it's a good thing. But you're I still am not well versed, so maybe I should be careful about drawing parallels that I don't know so much about anyway. But I was thinking of it in a good sense. I was appreciating the concept of denying material desires that will perpetuate the material illusion. Yes, thank
Fair
you.
enough. Christianity is not my area of expertise either, so I won't claim to know very much. Just this little bit. But yes, the body is full of nescient desires, and yeah. So pratibuddha, one who understands what the body is, doesn't become addicted to anusajjate, doesn't become addicted to activities for sense gratification. That's the summary. Hare Krishna.
Panchatattva Prabhu writes self-flagellation.
Yeah, we might. It can take that form. It's usually some kind of punishment, or yeah, not necessarily self-flagellation as far as I know, but it's a kind of severe, usually severe tapasya. Whether we would approve of these particular forms of tapasya from the Vedic point of view is an open question. Again, I don't know enough about it. Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, do you have anybody there who wants to read?
I have no one here.
Okay. Saraswati Mataji, are you available to read? Now, text 6.
Yes. Pranams Param Pujya Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Asansakta sharirsmin amunotpadite gruhe apatye druvine vapi kakuryana mamatam buddha. Translation: how can a highly learned person who has absolutely no affinity for the bodily conception of life be affected by the bodily conception in regard to house, children, wealth, and similar other bodily productions? Purport: the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are certainly meant to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. However, by such activities, one does not factually satisfy the Lord. Rather, with the sanction of the Lord, one tries to satisfy one's own senses. In other words, materialists who are especially interested in sense gratification are given permission or license to enjoy sense gratification by executing the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. That is called Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha. The Vedic performances are based on the three modes of material nature. Those who are elevated above the material condition are not at all interested in such Vedic performances. Rather, they are interested in the higher duties of transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such devotional service is called Nishtre Gunya. Devotional service to the Lord has nothing to do with the material conception of bodily comfort. Om Gyanantimirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Lord Vishnu is explicitly stating what it is that truly actually does satisfy him fully, and what he may sanction due to the conditional soul's persistence to pursue a life of material sense gratification, whether that's personal or extended. So in other words, those conditional souls who are only interested in remaining in the material universe, blindly following the dictates of Maya through the fulfilling material desires, they can perform activities like karma kanda, jnana kanda, dhyana kanda, and they may obtain the sanction from Lord Vishnu, as has been prescribed in the Vedas, that are still in connection with the three modes of material nature. So Traigunya Vishaye Vedaha, three gunas that are that influence the activities of conditional souls. I'm sort of reminded of one line in a prayer that we daily have for Mother Yamuna, and in Gujarati it said Chodabido Vishaya Shakti, which translates to, we're pleading to Mother Yamuna to help us to get out of this madness of Vishaya Shakti, Maya's power to completely trap us with activities completely embroiled in material sense gratification with no release in sight. Advanced devotees are only interested in acts that can completely satisfy Lord Vishnu or Krishna, which has no reference to satisfying their own personal desires. Such pure bhakti is completely devoid of the tinges of the three material modes. It's nistriya guna. And Rupa Goswami says, Anya bilashita shunyam gnanam karmandi anvratam anukulyena krishno shilanam bhaktir uttam. So naturally, such pure devotees as Maharaj Prithu, their acts are completely free from the three modes of material nature and have no bearing whatsoever on acting on a platform of the bodily concept of life. Hare Krishna.
As this place closes at.
We can take it here that Lord Vishnu is telling Prithu Maharaj, well, why should you care about these, doing 100 Ashwamedha sacrifices anyway? These ritualistic activities of the Vedas are very important for people who are interested in material advancement. They think that they're the body, and amuno padite, from that, then home, children, money, and so on. Mamatam, they think this is mine, this is mine. But an intelligent person or a pure devotee, he's just interested in devotional service. So don't worry about your 100 Ashwamedha yajnas. This is on a platform below you. You're a pure devotee. So you may perform these ceremonies or not perform these ceremonies. It's very important for the materialists in their view, but for you, it doesn't really matter. Your concern is pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Something in the chat from Praveen Prabhu. Loke Vyayam Sa Madhya Seva Ityahi Dantor Nahi Tatra Chodana Vaivastitis Teshu Vivaha Yagya Sragaher Ashu Ivrtir Ishta. In this material world, the conditioned soul is always inclined to sex, meat eating, and intoxication. Therefore, religious scriptures never actually encourage such activities, although the scriptural injunctions provide for sex through sacred marriage, for meat eating through sacrificial offerings, and for intoxication through the acceptance of ritual cups of wine. Such ceremonies are meant for the ultimate purpose of renunciation.
Yes.
For our next text, Naveen Prabhu, are you available? 7.
Yes, Prabhu. Text 7. Eka Shuddha Svayam Jyotir Nirguna So Gunash Shraya Sarva Go Navrta Sakshi Niratma Matmat Manaha Paraha. Translation. The individual soul is one, pure, non-material, and self-effulgent. He is the reservoir of all good qualities, and he is all-pervading. He is without material covering, and he is the witness of all activities. He is completely distinguished from other living entities, and he is transcendental to all embodied souls. Purport. In the previous verse, 2 significant words are used. Asamsakta, meaning without attachment, and buddha, meaning fully cognizant of everything. By full cognizance, it is meant that one should know about his own constitutional position, as well as the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in this verse, Lord Vishnu is describing himself, or the Paramatma. The Paramatma is always distinguished from the embodied soul as well as the material world. Therefore, he has been described as Para. That Para, or Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Eka, meaning one. The Lord is one, whereas the conditioned souls embodied within the material world exist in many varieties of form. There are demigods, human beings, animals, trees, birds, bees, and so forth. Thus, the living entities are not Eka, but many. As confirmed in the Vedas, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanash Chaitananam. The living entities, who are many and who are entangled in this material world, are not pure. However, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure and detached. Due to being covered by the material body, the living entities are not self-effulgent, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, is self-effulgent. The living entities, being contaminated by the modes of material nature, are called Saguna, whereas Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is Nirguna, not being under the influence of the material modes. The living entities being encaged in material qualities are Gunashrita, whereas the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Gunashraya. The conditioned soul's vision is covered by material contamination. Therefore, he cannot see the cause of his actions, and he cannot see his past lives. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, not being covered by a material body, is the witness of all the activities of a living entity. But both of them, the living entity and the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are Atma, or spirit. They are one in quality, yet they are different in so many ways, especially in regard to the 6 opulences the Supreme Personality of Godhead has in full. Full knowledge means that the Jiva, Atma, the living entity, must know both his position and the Supreme's position. That is full knowledge. I don't have comments at this time, but if Maharaj or others have comments, happy to hear them.
Yes. The Prabhupada, in his translation, has the Atma be the individual soul, but then in his commentary, he only discusses the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who glosses Atma as referring to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. all of these things could be construed as pertaining to the living entity. He's Sakshi, he's the witness, he's not really the doer, Nakartritvam, Nakarmani. He's in reality, anavrita, not covered by matter. Sarvagata sthanara chaloyam sanatana, he's able to go anywhere. He's constitutionally a reservoir of good qualities, pure and self-effulgent and so on. But in our present position, none of that pertains to us because we're tiny and apt to become covered by Maya, Avritam Jnana Maintaina. Our knowledge becomes covered and so on. So here, the Prabhupada follows Vishnath and highlighting this verse as referring to the Paramatma. Hare Krishna.
See, we have some new guests. Welcome to a few new guests on the call. Would anybody like to volunteer to read? Is anybody available from who may not read often?
I'll read. Although others are also welcome. Ya evam santamatmanam atmastam veda purushaha najyate prakritis topi tadgunai samayistataha. Although within the material nature, one who is thus situated in full knowledge of the Paramatma and Atma is never affected by the modes of material nature, for he is always situated in my transcendental loving service. Purport. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in this material world, he is not affected by the modes of material nature. Similarly, those who are always connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though they be within the material body or the material world, are not affected by the material qualities. That is explained very nicely in Bhagavad Gita. Mam chayo bhyavacharana bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahmapuyaya kolpate. One who is unflinchingly engaged in the devotional service of the Lord surpasses the material qualities and attains Brahman realization. In this connection, Srila Rupa Goswami says that if a person is always engaged in the service of the Lord with his body, words, and mind, he is to be considered liberated, although living in the material world. Srila Vishnath says, though situated in the body, prakriti stha, he's not affected by the gunas of the body. He's not situated in the body at all. Srila Prabhupada alludes to the verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikalashvapyavastasu jivan mukta suchate. Iha, even in this material world, Iha yasya harer dasye, someone who's engaged in the service of the personality of Godhead, karmana manasa gira, by his activities, by his mind, by his words, nikalashvapyavastasu, even though he's situated apparently in the material world, he's jivan mukta, he's a liberated soul. Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a coconut. When coconut has, within the shell, it has coconut meat clinging to the shell inside. But when the coconut dries up, then the coconut meat separates from the shell. So if you shake the coconut, you'll hear the coconut meat rattling around inside. Because even though it's within the coconut, now it's separated from its connection with the coconut shell. So the liberated devotee, even though situated in the material world, is disconnected from the material world. He's not under the influence of the modes of nature, sagunan samiti chaitan, because he's on the platform of service by the individual soul to the Supreme Soul. So, yes, Hare Krishna.
In the chat, Praveen Prabhu writes, Tad Ishanam Ishasya Prakriti Sto Pitad Gunai Na Yujate Sadatma Stare Yata Buddhistad Ashraya. And Prakriti Sto was in bold. Translation: this is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities.
Yes.
We have a hand, Saraswati Mashri.
Yes, I was reading something in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it said that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considers the Brahma Bhuta stage in two divisions, Swarup Ghata and Vastu Ghata. One who has understood Krishna in truth but is still maintaining some material connection is known to be situated in his Swarup, his original consciousness. When that original consciousness is completely spiritual, it is called Krishna consciousness. And one should execute his spiritual activities in the Swarup Gata stage of consciousness. So my question is that then Indra and anyone else who does know that Krishna in truth, but they are still maintaining some material connections via material desires, can we say there that all those conditional souls are situated in their Swarup Gata, their original consciousness? Hare Krishna.
Could you give me that one more time?
Yes, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in the Brahma Bhuta stage, he divided it into two stages, and one of them is called Swarup Gata, and that describes the devotee who knows Krishna in truth, but still has material connections. So they need to get more purification to get to the Vastu Gata, which is when your original consciousness is completely purified and completely uncontaminated with the modes of material nature. So the advice is that everyone should be executing activities in their Swarup Gata. So I'm thinking Indra does know Krishna in truth, but he's still maintaining material connections. So like any other Sakam devotee, can we say they're all situated in Swarup Gata?
Well, it's interesting because Srila Prabhupada glosses Swarup Gata and Vastu Gata a little differently at different times. When one's completely uncontaminated by the material body and mind, one factually lives in Vrindavan, that stage is called Vastu Gata. And one should execute his spiritual activities in the Swarup Gata. So these terms may go in different ways. Let's just see. Give me one moment. Get the context of what you're quoting there. Yeah. Ooh. It's in a long purpose. The same thing. One would really have to study what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying here to understand things within these two categories, because Srila Prabhupada has them as being, well, it's a little hard to see this. One who has understood Krishna in truth, but is still maintaining some material connection, is known to be situated in his swarup, his original consciousness. We can Jiver Swarupoi Krishna Ner Nityadas. The swarup of every living entity is to be Krishna conscious. What do we mean by maintaining some material connection? Does that mean that he has some material desires? It doesn't. From the context here, it seems like maintaining some material connection means he's still connected with the body. So even though he's connected with the body, he's known to be situated in his swarup, his original consciousness. Jivan Mukta Suchate. And when that original consciousness is completely spiritual, it's called Krishna consciousness. And one who lives in such consciousness is actually living in Vrindavan. He may live anywhere. Material location doesn't matter. When, by the grace of Krishna, one thus advances, he becomes completely uncontaminated by the material body and mind, and at that time factually lives in Vrindavan. That stage is called Vastugata. So again, I suppose we would have to study, if we wanted to look at what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying in terms of two different divisions, I suppose we'd have to look to the context where he says it. Otherwise, it's a little hard to discern here. Which way the divisions go. One should execute his spiritual activities in the Swarupgata stage of consciousness. That's the next line. With the understanding, I would take it that one's Swarup is Nitya Krishna Das, to be eternally Krishna's servant. So I got so wrapped up in looking at Vastugata and Swarupgata that now I've lost the context of your question concerning Lord Indra. What should I do about that?
You've answered the question, Maharaji.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
It's time for kirtan.
Oh, so it is. Yes.
Is Sham Sindhu Prabhu available? Hopefully I got your name there right. Would you like to lead? Can't hear you. Cannot hear you. Must have just me.
No, none of us can hear.
Okay. Well, we look forward to when your audio is back, Prabhu. Naveen Prabhu, are you available?
Yes. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Purnamansa Paripraj Kacharya Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kundigiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadip Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All right, thank you to all. And thank you to those who are, again, those who are coming for the first time. And Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to His Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj Shri.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai.